welcome you to the unveiling of the Steelworks Mixed Development in downtown Stilton. Before we get started, the board would like to thank Integrated Development Partners, LLC, Dauphin County Commissioners, Mr. Jeff Hayes, Mr. Mike Freeze, and Mr. George P. Hartwick III. We would also like to recognize Mr. George Conner, the Economic Development Director for Dauphin County. We would also like to recognize Mike Musser of Community Networking Resources as well for believing in the vision that this council has set forth for Stilton. Now I would like to introduce Johnston Bowser, Managing Partner for Integrated Development Partners Incorporated.
Good morning. Thank you, Council. Thank you to the County Commissioners for the support. Thank you to Dauphin County Economic Development Corporation and George Conner. Also to the Chamber and Cretic as well for the support of the project. Growing up in the area, this project is kind of a homecoming for me. On a daily basis, growing up, you kind of go past the site, you go through Stilton, you see a lot of the pride, you see a lot of the opportunity. So I'm just very fortunate to be a part of what we have dubbed as the Steelworks. We came up with the name through a little bit of research of looking on the borough's website that at one point, this used to be the name of the town when Stilton was forced to come up with a P.O. box. So we thought, what better way to represent Front Street, Stilton, by kind of bringing back one of its original names with its inception. What you'll see with the development, and I'll just talk a little bit about that as well, is a lot of mixed use. One of the things that we see that is really lacking throughout the community and throughout the area is more mixed use projects. So what we're proposing here, and I just want to probably make it clear that at this point it's just a concept plan. You'll see that we just put the marketing signs out front today, so thanks to Landmark and Chuck Heller for that. And so, over time this could change, but at least we wanted to have a good starting point. So what we're proposing is 100 plus apartment units. We're also looking at a significant amount of commercial space and retail space as well. And then we wanted to do something a little bit different by adding a little bit of open space in the rear of the property. One of the things we're talking to several of the borough council members was the need for more community space within the borough. So we thought, what better opportunity but to put in an amphitheater, also a little bit of space for open space, green space, that then could be used for community public use as well. We are familiar that there's several festivals and other community events that are held, and hopefully one day this could be the home to some of those events as well. So that's kind of our thought process on the concept plan from a timing perspective. We're looking at commencing with land development plans, and then a lot of that also is going to be driven by who the end users are as well. So we really want to focus on medical, a grocery store. From the area, there's not a lot of options in close proximity. And then also space for retail, small office space as well. So we're very excited to have been selected through the Stilton Economic Development Corporation. So thanks to Joe Beck and the rest of the board there for their support and confidence and us as an organization. Last but not least, I wanted to thank our team for their vision and support of the project. So my partner Justin Kuhn is over here to the right. We have Dan Jurek with us. We have Elliot Shelby with us, and we also have Usman Horseman as well. So I want to thank our team for their support of the project moving forward. Thank you.
What a great day in the borough. Next we have Dauphin County Board Chairman Jeff Hayes. You would like to say a few words?
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say a special thank you to the community of Steelton. That includes the elected officials, the corporation, and the citizens that have made this happen. I think most folks know we went down this road a year or so ago. We thought we had a plan, thought we were going to make things happen. It fell through. The perseverance of this borough and the folks in this borough make today happen. We've actually been blessed at the county to be able to have a great working relationship with the folks in Steelton Borough. If you think about it, every time we've come together, great things have started to happen. And I really think that's sort of the gist of what you see today. When the private sector, the public sector, the school district, let's not forget them because they were active with Alerta, making sure those kinds of things happen. When everybody comes together, everybody may not have the same path to get to the end result, but everybody sees that end result, and when you get together and you talk it out in a very civil way, we get to having great projects like this. I don't know how many of these we've had over the last few years here in Steelton Borough. I actually brag about you often, not as much as George does, because he's got deep roots. But when you want to talk about somebody who's willing to take a chance to better their community, to really roll up their sleeves and make things happen, it's Steelton Borough. And I want to say thank you to Jonathan and your corporation. I think it's very appropriate and fitting that Jonathan would come back home to see this project happen. You know, I can't think of a better person, someone who knows economic development, someone who knows this borough to move this forward. George Connor, special thank you. You know, when we talked about this, George and his team found some available dollars that we get through our EPA, so we were able to put $230,000 towards this project from our monies at the county. And you know, George oftentimes gets creative in trying to make these things happen. We often say we're not the ones who really drive the project, but we're that little bit of icing that gets it over the top. We're the thing that makes it finally happen. And I'm just proud to be a small part of that again in this borough. Another great project. Hats off to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Dauphin County Commissioner Mike Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Proctor. Morning, everyone. It's great to be here and following up Jeff and going before George. I'm going to make my time very quick. He's a proud papa today. But I'll tell you what, no municipality in Dauphin County has worked better with Dauphin County in the past several years. You guys are not afraid to take chances working with us for the skate park, working with us on downtown development, working with us with the Land Bank Authority. Steelton has always been front and center. I give a special thank you to the borough and the school district for teaming up with the county. We look forward to a lot of projects moving forward. As Jeff said, we were awarded a $400,000 environmental grant a couple of years ago for brownfield cleanups and assessments of environmental and commercial properties and industrial properties throughout Dauphin County. And Steelton took advantage of that, and we spent $230,000, $400,000 right here. And that's what the money's for. Glad to work with you. Look forward to partnering with you again in the future. Mr. Bowser, there's an old saying, you can always come home. You've done so. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. And as one of the three commissioners here, on behalf of the 275,000 residents of Dauphin County, thank you for taking advantage of this opportunity to come home. At this time, I'd like to turn it back over to my friend, Mr. Proctor.
Next up, we have Steelton's own Dauphin County Commissioner George P.
The only time I see him anymore is in stripes. Wasn't sure where you were going. Look, in this room, when I come in here, it truly brings back unbelievable memories. I wouldn't be, don't get me emotional here today. I wouldn't be who I am without being here first, going through battles about what's right for people, trying to figure out what's right for a town, trying to change around the police system and the government system that, quite frankly, deserves leadership. The people of this town and the history of this town are things that we should all beat our chest about. And as I look around the room, I see so many people that made such a significant difference in those efforts, and are going to continue to make such a significant difference in the efforts, from
hearing mispronunciations sitting over the desk, to understanding the political fights of being told you'll never do anything in this town. You'll be set in a corner and you'll be quiet. We've come a long way. And today, I'm proud to stand with two commissioners who don't play those kind of partisan politics. Quite frankly, they play a level that says if you're willing to move forward and we're willing to make an investment, there's no better town than Stilton to be able to see a bright future based upon the spirit and the interests of this community. And it's not the way it always was. We need to move forward and understand that it's different. And the people that live here are our residents. We need to get to know them, support them, and figure out how we can do best by them. By keeping their taxes low, keeping their communities safe, and figuring out a way to offer quality education and great parks and recreation. And today, I see Jonathan Bowser, you got mentions today, I see his sister, his mom and dad, I see Renee Drake Bowers. I'm not going to go through the entire crowd, but there are some people that are engaged in this process, and even in some of my side discussions, this is an exciting time. This is a chance to rebuild. Some people look backwards. This is an opportunity to look forward. It's an opportunity to look forward to say, there are people that always are naysayers. They want to see everything go wrong. Well, you know what? Let's be a part of what goes right. And there's people that have standing here putting their own money, their own effort, their own time, their own principles into trying to make this go right. From the council, who quite frankly, in Stilton Borough, I've not worked with a better council. I remember when I came back here, there was a couple of times where we had some dissension and challenges and priorities, limited resources. Right now, this council, even in the face sometimes of what you don't know, they're trying to do the right thing. And they're trying to actually do the right thing for this town. And I know there's always the role of the community in questioning government. It should always stay that way. There's no absolute power. There's no ability for you not to question the leaders of our government system. But I will tell you, in behind-the-scenes discussions I've had with these folks, the intentions and the beliefs that they have are about what's in the best interest of people. And for me, that makes me feel better. You understand? There's a lot of people I deal with in life that don't have the right motives. They really are not looking for anything except their own self-interest. And this council right now that I know is really trying to do what's right, and none of us know everything. And the smartest thing we can always admit is we have a whole lot to learn. But I know this project will ultimately be something that allows Stilton to start to build a tax base. I always had this vision. Think about Stilton downtown, viewing it as many countries, one people we've always talked about. Having a multicultural fair, a police force that's not arresting people and looking in cars to try and get people out of town, but helping to advance their safety in town. The ability to have great quality offerings, and the ability for you to do it at half the price of anywhere else. And we're going to be grateful for being able to rebuild our economy. Having hometown folks come home to potentially do some distribution. The ability for us to be able to see something happen with jobs and redefining what goes on. The mill might not be here tomorrow. It might not be here tomorrow. So what does the future of Stilton look like? What is it that the town wants the future of Stilton to look like? And what is it that this region needs that Stilton only can fulfill with the type of history and people and the quality of this community that comes with this town? And today I think we're making large steps in trying to see that occur. I want to thank Jonathan Bowser. I want to thank council, despite the bickering and the squabbles over some of the small things. I think the bigger vision is absolutely there. Is this going to be a panacea? No. But is it a major step in the right direction? Absolutely yes. And instead of us trying to figure out a way that we can point out what's wrong, why don't we all become a part of what's right? Because this is a great day for Stilton, and there is nothing I could do in my life of service as something that gave me everything I had than to see this town succeed and survive. Thank you.
Heartfelt speech by Commissioner Hartley. Next, we have our Stilton Borough Council Member, Economic Development Chair, Keontae Hodge.
So I have to follow that. Good morning. My name is Keontae Hodge. I'm the Council Pro Tem and the Chair of the Neighborhood and Economic Development Committee. I would like to thank Integrated Partners again for partnering with us and saying this small town is something that will become something big once again. I'd also like to thank the commissioners for actually working with us and seeing that we are trying to do something good and we are trying to bring it home. I'd also like to tell everybody about how 2.5 years ago, me and my colleagues, we sat and tried to figure out a plan for Stilton. And it was kind of bleak, but we decided we were going to work hard and we were going to figure some things out. So in the last 2.5 years, we have accomplished a lot. We passed the Boldest and Simplest Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance Ordinance, which is called Murder with the School District. We got the first marijuana dispensary down here. We opened the first public skate park here. And we started engaging with Habitat for Humanity to do some housing on Locust Street. And we are finishing the planning and development for the Frank S. Brown Townhomes, which was the former Adams Street. So I will say we have been working contrary to what it may look like we've been working. Completing these projects is a big step for us, but it's a big step for the community because, as the speaker before me said, there's always the let's look in the past and say what didn't happen. So we have been trying our hardest to make sure that we get these things accomplished, but we have been partnering with a lot of people, and it is amazing to see how many people actually see what this town has and the potential that we have. You start out feeling like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get this accomplished? No one wants to do business with us, police, whatever. And then you actually get here and you start doing the work and you put forth the effort and you realize that's not the case. You just have to actually go out and do it. So I won't keep you guys here very long, but I would like to say that the Steelworks development fits right in with what we're trying to do with progressing Stilton forward and starting a new Stilton to where everybody can feel like a part of this town and like it's their home. I'd also like to thank all our partners in Dauphin County, Stilton Economic Development Corporation, George Connor, Mike Musser, the Dauphin County Redevelopment Authority, Integrated Development Partners. And I'd also like to thank Charles Wallace, who's actually here with us, and he actually is our authority. I'd also like to thank Ms. Renee Drayton for when I felt like I just could not fight anymore. She always called me and said, you better get out there and fight. We are actually taking Stilton to another place, and I want to thank you all for being a part of it with us.
Next, we have Harrisburg Regional Chamber and previous President, CEO, Mr. Dave Black.
Thank you, and I'm the closer for today, so I will be brief. First of all, I just want to make something clear. We talked a lot about Jonathan coming home. He was working in Carlisle. He'd home every night to save the Dauphin County. It just makes sense. So welcome home. It's great. We've had the pleasure of working with Jonathan over the years, and he's become a very talented developer. And I want to say thank you to the integrated development team. This is a great project for Steelton. I also just want to remind everybody, you've heard all the names of everybody that's involved. This is a total team effort. And one of the first places that I got involved in when I came to the Chamber in Creedy a number of years ago was Steelton. And it's a place that it touches your heart because of the passion that's in this community. We heard it with the former mayor, and I'd just like to close and say that in leadership, there are a couple things that we always need to be reminded of. But one of the things that great leaders and all the people in this room are great leaders and great partners, and this is the way that a project comes together. But to have a great leader, you need projects that encourage the heart. What's going to happen across the street here encourages the heart. And the other thing that you have to do as a leader is to celebrate accomplishments. So congratulations from the business community here in the region. We want to work with you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is a question and answer session from the media. We'll have Jonathan and his partners come up and answer any questions the media has for them.
How about for you, Brian?
questions we can answer? Yes. Sure. Based on current concept plan, definitely the project's in excess of about $12 million of construction. There are some infrastructure improvements that will need to be made. There's a stormwater pipe that runs in the rear of the property that will have to be relocated so that way we can get buildings where you see them currently placed. From a traffic perspective, we're not sure. We'll have to do a traffic impact study at some point to see what the generation of traffic may be to the site with this new development plan. So we'll keep our fingers crossed there. The borough has done a lot of work in the past, some facade work, sidewalk, new streetscapes. And so we think a lot of the work has already been in the works for several years. And so we thank the borough for that has been done up to this point.
Too soon to talk about groundbreaking, when that would happen?
We hope it's tomorrow. But what we're projecting now is probably sometime in 2019, maybe a fall. We have to go through the land development process here in the borough. Also get any permits and approvals we may need from PennDOT and also the DEP. And so hopefully, we're looking at sometime next year. We currently are marketing the site, which is going to drive a lot of the construction. And so we've started to talk to some potential end users that are very thrilled that something's happening here, and they really do like this 230 corridor.
We were just talking, or one of the speakers mentioned how sometimes we maybe focus too much on the past. There may have been a perception, I'm from the area, but there may be a perception like a borough or a town like Steelton and some of the neighboring communities, there's no real room for growth. It's an old steel town, the industry's not like it used to be, but does this show that there is always room for growth and expansion?
Yeah, we think so. I think, one of the first things that someone said to me is, are you crazy? There hasn't been any new construction in Stilton in over 30 years. And, to us, we see that as Commissioner Hartwick said, as an opportunity. There is, we've done a lot of work looking at the market, and this market has the opportunity and the potential to continue to do great things. And we see this project as just being a small, piece of that puzzle. From a housing perspective, to give you a good example, we're focusing on market rate housing. And so, again, you haven't seen a lot of new construction market rate in the area, but we're going to push that envelope. Same with the grocery store. As long as I've, my 30-something years, I haven't, they've been talking about a grocery store in Stilton. And it probably even goes back even further. But so we're gonna push that. We're gonna push that envelope. This is a food desert, and we do see that there's some opportunities for a grocery store that would be fitting for a borough of this size. Medical, the same thing. We see that there's a lack of access to healthcare in the area. So again, that's another area that we really want to target. So we know what we really want to go after. The market's going to have to validate that, but we're very confident that will happen. Any other questions?
All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Another great day in the borough. We never get tired of this. We never get tired of this, and we won't stop having this. So thank you all again for coming out. Have a great afternoon.